Welcome, my friends, to another 8 ends. It's the latest draw from the Mixed Forest Tournament, part of the 2025 doubletakeout.com MoPac Championships presented by curling.gg. Rocks in play. We're underway here in the first end. Seeing the second stones coming from David Betts. Crashes on the guard, but it spills in the rings. So not a bad outcome for David. We have a Team Raju playing with the Red Rocks and Team Baird with the Yellowstones. Next rock coming from Brian Onken for Team Baird. Looks like Baird wants to put up a guard. Actually wanted to draw around. And that shot was made. Good job from Brian. A lot of out-turn counterclockwise rotation so far. Four games on the ice again for this final draw of pool play. The next game will be the playoffs, either a tiebreaker or the quarterfinals. The times do a change based on what we do. Looks like David's last shot meant to be a takeout and it missed, unfortunately. So if a tiebreaker is needed, and there would only be one tiebreaker, that game would be at 4:30 or so, maybe 4:25, and then in this tiebreaker scenario, the tiebreaker would be at 4:30, and then the quarterfinal game would be at about 7:50 tonight. If there is no tiebreaker, the quarterfinal will start at about 6:50, 6:55. So another good draw from Brian Onken, putting up a front stone. And so Skip Raju is asking his Vice SFBACC thing to do right. She gets the rots moving, gets one of the yellows to go away, so that's a success. SFBACC goes by subs, so I may be using that a decent amount during this event. That was a good takeout there from SFBACC. So Vice Stones coming for Team Baird. This is Debbie Aubrey. Looking for a draw, it appears. Gonna go into the rings, add another yellow Baird rock to the pile. Currently sitting 3, and Raju wants subs to take it out, or take it on at least. She's got some heat on that rock. Let's see what it does. It clears the front. Not a bad outcome. I think he was hoping for a raised takeout. So we have Debbie's net shots. Looking to put front stone back in front of those 3 yellow Baird rocks. They're trying to coach it over. I think only with limited success. So the port is still there. And P and Raju is going to take it on. We have 4 games in action. This last draw of pool play. Sheet A features Team Spangler of Wine Country taking on Team Unterborn of Coyotes and Orange County Curling. Sheet B is our feature sheet, Raju versus Baird. Sheet C is Team Endicott of Coyotes taking on Team McDonald of Coyotes, Wine Country in San Francisco Bay Area. And then sheet D is the contest between Team Blacksher of OC Curling taking on Team Grow of Coyotes, OC Curling, and San Francisco Curling. So the routes through the port gets 2 moving. Got all 3 moving, but only 1 went out of play. It does change up the end though, so that seems like a made shot by Raju.
Yeah, that's probably a better spot over there.
So Jeff Baird heads down the ice, doing the Jeff Baird hustle, but not the Jeff Baird shuffle. Set up for a draw. Maybe to sit 3. And I think also to do the draw before Raju could do the draw. So this is Jeff Baird's first with the hammer here in the first end. The weight looks light. But I think just blocking the pass would have been a good outcome. I don't know if it got to where Baird wanted it. Most of the playoff bracket's been set, especially because most of the teams that are advanced to the playoffs won 2 of the games already to qualify. There's 1 playoff spot that remains, and that is between a couple teams on the ice. As we see, Raju get set for his last. If Endicott wins their game, they, I think, advance to the playoffs. If they lose, then there's the possibility of a playoff. So Raju's throwing intern draw, calling hard for the sweep. It looks a little light as the sweepers are just pounding that ice, trying to get every inch out of the stone. And it's really close, but not quite enough. It does make it difficult for Baird to use that draw path on the side. So I think Raju's just hoping for a little bit of luck to not give up 3, as the 2 has already been conceded essentially. So it looks like they might be trying to draw through the port. Last rock here in the first end has 2 in hand, looking to pluck a 3rd out of the bush, as it were. It's close, but I think it's on the red guard. It ticks the guard and rolls to the center, not able to progress any further. But damage was done for Jeff Baird, as he had 2, opening up a 2-0 lead over Team Raju. We'll be back in just a moment when we continue with our coverage of the 2025 DoubleTakeout.com MoPac Championships presented by Curling.gg. And coverage of this event is being brought to you by DoubleTakeout.com. Throughout the competitive curling season, proprietor Ken Pomeroy crunches the numbers and determines a ranking of the top men's and women's teams from around the world at DoubleTakeout.com. And by Curling.gg. Curlers start and end each game by wishing each other a good game. Or GG, you can visit the free website to create curling scenarios to find your good game at Curling.gg. And Endgame Curling, manufacturers of curling brooms and pads, including the travel broom that collapses and fits into carry-on baggage at endgamecurling.com. All right, we're back to the action. As Tracy Drummond threw rocked into the top of the house. They were sweeping it, so I think they wanted it to maybe be a biter in the house. As Megan Armstrong delivers. She's been curling for 36 years. Her experience includes the 2024 Women's National Championships for clubs. Also played second for the MoPac champion team at the Women's Club Playdowns. And this will go into the rings as well. So now play has drawn into the rings. As you see, Tracy's net shot. She's been curling since 2010, 14 years. She's been at this MoPac mixed playdown event on teams Baird and LeClaire since 2015. And that hit was made. And this end is being brought to you by DoubleTakeout.com. Ranking the world's top men's and women's curlers at DoubleTakeout.com. So it looks like Maiden's being asked to do a takeout of her own. Manages to clip the outside of that stone and shoot it out the back. We're seeing Brian Onkins first. They're hoping to get around the front rock with his in-turn clockwise rotation. And it does settle into the rings, but it is pretty open. So Raj is going to take it on. With David Betts is first to the end. David's been curling for 6 years, including reaching the quarterfinals at this year's Arena National Championships as skip. The weight looks pretty good, but the line may have been a bit wide. It's going to settle into the back 4 foots. Onkins next is coming down the sheet. So he has been to men's playdowns, reached the quarterfinals here for MoPac. Won the 2023 MoPac 5 and under. And he's also been able to participate in the wrench, which is the Coyotes, probably arguably the most competitive spiel insofar it's a part of the World Curling Tour, I believe. So that shot's wasn't quite sure where that shot ended up. Just 2 of the yellows moving. Is it going to get both of them out? It does. And so that is a double takeout brought to you by doubletakeout.com. Let's check the replay. Wasn't quite sure where that shot ended up. Just 2 of the yellows moving. Is it going to get both of them out? It does. So that double takeout brought to you by doubletakeout.com. This is Debbie Aubrey's first. Looking to take out some rocks of her own. The intern gets the red moving out of play. Shooter goes away, and there's only 1 yellow in the rings. Let me update the score for you guys. And this is a thing to Durai, her first. Looking to hit, it could be a blank for this end. So that hit was made, and now we're going to see, I think Debbie returned the favor. Out turn, rotation, did counterclockwise. Going to stick around. move slightly. Give Raju and subs another target to aim at. So subs shots, kind of a gentle weight. It's a little bit wide, enough to get the shot stone out of the way, but shooter also rolls out of play. I think she would have wanted to sit around. So wide open house. Anywhere Baird wants to put it, he can put it somewhere. Pretty clean end so far. Jeff Baird delivers. I think just looking to be anywhere in the house, force Raju to make a play on the rock. So looks like it's going to end up about T-line. That's just going a little deep. So Raju could make a play on it or ignore it. Made sense to make a play on it. Definitely going for the blink here in this end, I believe. Because I was thinking Raju could maybe ignore it for now, maybe draw to another point, but that would be disastrous. Because then Baird would just probably hit the Raju rock out, and there's no chance for 2 points, and you run a risk of giving up a steal. There's no point to do that. Sometimes you have to talk through some of these scenarios. So this is Raju's first. Looking to make contact on the yellow in the back, and will stick around with the nose hit. All right, so with one Raju rock in the rings, I think Baird is going to try to return the favor. And then Raju will ideally hit and roll out for the blank end and carry the hammer to the third end. So the shot's away. It's looking pretty good. In turn rotation. Hit and stick for the takeout. It does stay in the same place relative to the last hit that Raju made. So he basically just needs to do the same shot essentially, and he'll get the blink. Last rock here in the second end. P and Raju hitting and hoping to roll away. This looks like it's going to be close, but it's probably going to stick around. Not a bad outcome. The blink would have been preferred, but he gets on the scoreboard. It's 2-1 in favor of Team Baird. And we'll be right back as our coverage continues. And we are back to our ongoing coverage of the mixed fours tournaments, coming to you live from the Coyotes Curling Club. As we see Megan Armstrong put up a center line guard. We are playing with the no tick rule, and that means that an opposing team cannot dislodge that rock until after the fifth rock of the end. If they do knock the rock off the center line, things happen. We can explain as we get there. Looks like Tracy Drum is going to try and draw around. Looks pretty good. Going to go a little deep, actually. Not too bad, though. Still is in back 4 foot. As Maiden Armstrong gets set. She started curling at the Glencoe Curling Club in Calgary, Alberta, and competed in provincial juniors and Alberta Southern playoffs in the 90s and 2000s. As we see a draw, I think hoping to park right on top of the Drummond stone if she can. Although top of the house is not too bad, and that is where it ends up. Top 8 foot. It's exposed, so Baird could have Drummonds take it out if he wanted to. There is a risk of jamming, so that's why I think he's looking to draw around on the other side. So, in addition to being on several MoPac competitive teams, she's gone to the Senior National Championships since 2016 with Team Stevens, including and also Nassau and Aubrey. So that curls up into the red in the top. Not a bad outcome. It's partially buried. The tap does give Raju a tap back. So he's asking, I think, David Best to maybe throw a bit of a heavy draw. They're just kind of walking it down. It's a little wide. The weight wasn't bad, but the line was a little wide. So it doesn't miss and go through the house out of play. So it looks like Brian Onken is being asked to, I think, pluck out the Raju red. And it ticks it, and the shooter also goes away. So that was a good shot there from Onken. We're going to see Betts, I think, just draw on top of the Baird yellow in the back. So that looks like it came up a little light. This draw looks pretty good. Alright. And that draw around looked pretty good. I'm trying to keep a score sheet and I'm behind. As Raju is looking things over. One of the players is coming down to look at the scenario here. It's a bit of a tricky situation, and Baird has the hammer this end, as I've updated the scoreboard. So, it's time for hack weights. Let's look at the overhead here. I think he's trying to hit the red onto the yellow, and maybe spin back under the other yellow on the left. It's probably the best outcome as we get ready for subs' first. Megan jumps on it now. David, I think, working to hold the line perhaps. I guess maybe looking for a plan B. As it hits the yellow on the yellow, gets rid of one of the yellows. So that looks like a positive outcome for subs' shot. Baird is now sitting 2. Although interestingly, he's playing. Baird is playing on the left side of the sheet for Debbie Aubrey's first. And this is an interesting scenario. I think maybe just doing this to prevent Raju from tapping the red back. A smidge heavy, I would say. And actually pushes Raju into second position. So now I think Raju's going to try. Based on where he has the broom, he's set up for a draw. So I think he's really hoping to tap the top red back toward the button. Has the outturn counterclockwise rotation. This is going to kind of hit the yellow first. Not a bad outcome as Raju sweeps that yellow to the back 12 foot. So Baird is now shifting his attention to the right side of the sheets, where there was a draw to the button there for most of this end. It looks like Baird is kind of asking for that type of draw, or maybe tapping the yellow back for Debbie Aubrey. Outside of curling, Debbie enjoys playing pickleball and four-way sequential formation skydiving in the wind tunnel. She was telling me that she does it competitively, or she did. This shot looks pretty good. The line was good. The weight was just a little light. So it looks like Baird is sitting 1, 3, 4, and 5. And then Raju is 2, 6, 7. So with the skip stones here, Raju, I think, is looking to draw. Maybe I did around those two yellows and parked right on the edge of the button there. Raju has been curling for 14 years. Sorry, that's Jeff Baird. He's been curling for 10 years. Has a lot of regional and international experience. As he's going for the draw here. Weight looks pretty good. The line looks decent. The weight, a smidge on the heavy side, perhaps. Not bad. Actually, really good. It's kind of hanging out though on the back of the forefoot, and so Jeff Baird could try and just basically draw on top of that and sit second shot. Although now Raju is now shots 2 and 3. So here's today's trivia question. How many years has Jeff Baird been curling? I'll tell you the answer right now. 14 years. I said it like 3 minutes ago. So Baird is set up for the draw. A little bit more ice, I think, anticipating a little less weight. Baird was on the Senior Nationals Championship team with Team Leclerc in 2022. Made the playoffs at the World Senior Competition. Also won the PIC International Division with Leclerc, as well as winning the Senior National Bonspiel with Leclerc. Jeff Baird's first shot here in the third end. Going for a draw. Weight looks decent. The sweepers were kind of watching it, and now they're jumping in to help a little bit more. And I think Aubrey is positioning them to put it on the top forefoot. Ends up in the full 8 foot just above the 4 foot ring. It says still a good shot. It also can be a setup shot for Baird's last. If Raju doesn't block that yellow, Baird can tap that yellow up for a second point. So Raju is moving to block that path with the guard as he just sets in the delivery and hack with his sweepers. Going for a draw. Let's time this bad boy. Stopwatch time. Right. I'm trying to make it sound exciting. I don't know if it's working. This is P and Raju's last without the hammer here in the third. Looking for a guard, looking to block that yellow that Jeff Baird just threw. Weight looks a little up, although I'm seeing some maybe some slowdown on my feed here. Yeah, so it was not carrying. My feet slowed down all of a sudden. That's a 2-guard though, and it does do a decent job of blocking the path. So we're gonna have the last rocks. Trying to see how they can get a second point out of this. I think they're going to try and draw through the port. Trying to think about which way they could do it. I think the easiest way to be is to draw from the center to the right, and maybe hit the right yellow with a kind of a glancing stone. But they're set up to draw from right to left, so they're hoping for, I think, like a heavy draw. Tap yellow onto yellow towards the center of the ring. That's the shot call as far as I can tell. And this is Jeff Baird's last shot away here in the third end. Looks close, but I think it's on the guard. And the guard, the guard's going to raise the red towards the button. That really worked out. That could have been the shot they wanted all along. Full point and a second point for Team Baird to take a 4-1 lead over Team Raju. Quick pause in the action. We'll be right back as our coverage continues from the 2025 doubletakeout.com MoPac Championships presented by curling.gg. As Tracy throws the first rock of this fourth end, let's take a look around the rings. 2 games have playoff implications. As it looks like Tracy's throwing into the rings with the out-turn counterclockwise rotation. And now kind of seeing if Raj is going to try and make a play on the rock in the rings or ignore it. And he's choosing to ignore it for now. So on sheet A, Team Unterborn of Coyotes and Orange County opened up scoring with a steal of 4. Spangler responded with a single in the second. This is one of the games that has playoff implications. The second game is our game, well, on sheet B, where Team Baird is up 4-1 over Team Raju. And it looks like Maiden was able to put up that corner guard. Well done. And so now it looks like Baird would like Drummond to put up a guard or a front stone. Sheet C, the contest between Team Endicott and McDonald. That's the other game with playoff implications. Where if if Endicott were to win, I think they grab that last playoff spot. And right now it's been all Endicott's. Currently 5-0 over McDonald with the action of the fourth end. And that front rod is not really covering the shot stone. But it's another rock in the rings to give Raju something to consider. And then the final game on the ice is Blackshear of OC Curling taking on Team Bro of Coyotes, Wine Country, OC, and San Francisco. That's been all Bro so far, up 3-0 with the score in the action in the third end. So that draw for Megan Armstrong looked really good. Just partially behind the corner guard. But it looks like there's enough for Baird to ask Brian Onken to take on as a takeout. As I said, looking pretty good, but it might be on the red guard. And it is. It's going to hit off the red guard and spin towards the button, settling in the back 8 foot. So not a bad outcome. Not something I would have considered being a... No one would call that shot, pretty much. So all the scores are being posted to bondspieler.com. It's your home for live curling scores and frozen ice cream topping. bondspieler.com. So it looks like Raju had David Betts draw in. Looks pretty good. Settles into the top 4 foot. So Baird is sitting shots like 1 and 4, and Raju is 2 and 3. So Brian's being asked to, I think, throw some heat at this pile of stones in the center of the rings. Runs the red on the yellow. The yellow goes away, and then the red rock moves to the left wing. Seems like a decent outcome for Onken. This end is being brought to you by Endgame Curling, elevating the standard for high performance brooms. Endgamecurling.com. So it looks like Raju's trying to put up some protection over that red rock on the right, as it is a shot rock. And it looks like we're going to get a little tap back. So I think Baird wants to blow that up if he can. Debbie Aubrey's first. Going to get one of the reds, and then the shooter's going to roll away. Like a whirling dervish, disappearing as suddenly as it appears. So I think Raju has the broom down for a hit for subs. I think it hit, but maybe not. Actually, a draw, hoping to end up like in front of the red to provide some protection. And not too shabby. About 3 feet of separation between the rocks. So I think Debbie is going to be asked to throw a very similar shot to her last. The up weight, out turn, take out. So we're going to get 1, get 2. The first red jammed on the second red. Does make one of the reds go away. So now we are to the second of subs is rocks. Looking to draw around, it appears. Looks pretty good. Let's see where it ends up. Ooh, just a little heavy. Settles in the bat 12 after glancing off of the yellow in the bat. Puts another red in the reins, but otherwise a slight miss. So it looks like Jeff Baird is going to try and take out that red on the left side. Talking things over with his front end sweepers.
Oh, do you want the explanation of how great his eyes are? I do not suggest that.
Baird pushes from the hack with the first of 2 skip stones without the hammer. Hoping to get a red moving and maybe probably roll towards the center if he can. And he will move towards the 4-foot. So Raju shot on the edge of the 4-foot, but Team Baird is pretty much everything else. So Raju shot on the edge.
Ours was semi.
My apologies. Also, checking the scoreboard. I'm sorry, I'm behind on the scoreboard. It's one of those tasks I need to stay on top of. But thank you for the comments in the YouTube chat. So this is PN Raju's first. Calling for a hard sweep from David Betts. Needs to hold the line. Needs to curl though too. Let me show you what I'm seeing. So they really needed to go for weight, and it ended up in a pretty good place. It's partly open though. But they really needed to sweep to have the weight to get there. It's now second. It's now shot rock. So this is going to be a tricky situation for Baird. Baird could tap that out with a heavy draw. Looking at the best line. I don't know if you would want to try and draw on the right at all. It's dangerous. I always thought like freeze is a great shot. But it's one of the trickiest shots in the game. So he's going for a heavy draw to tap that red back. Maybe be shot at the end of it. And also be in a place where Raju really can't pick Baird out very easily. So I think that's the call. That makes sense. And then speaking of YouTube comments, thank you for everyone tuning into this event. We're here to help showcase the top curlers in our region and bring curling to a greater audience. And we definitely appreciate you being part of that process. I got 14-3 in terms of the split time. It's close. It's going to tap the red back ever so slightly. Red is still shot. And they're talking about maybe trying to tap that yellow and roll again, and that would give them a third point possibly, which would tie the game. But if they wanted the easier shot for 2, you can draw down the middle and only be within 1 at the halftime break, because we are taking a break at the fourth end. And this weekend's halftime show is going to be a discussion on the freshwater seafood of Tempe. It's going to be in the warm room. They're going to talk about how you can make a lot of great traditional Asian dishes with the freshwater fish that you might catch in the Tempe area. It's all during the halftime break, which we won't have on screen, unfortunately. All right, this is the last shot. PN Raju looking for 2, looking for 3. Sweepers are really pounding that ice. It looks like it might be over curling a smidge. And the sweepers are off of it, where it's going to settle into the front of the house, causing nobody no harm. And as it is, Baird got out of there, only giving up a single point. We head into the halftime break with Team Baird up 4-2 over Team Raju. We're going to take a brief pause in the action. They'll be right back as our coverage continues from the 2025 DoubleTakeout.com MoPac Championships presented by Curling.gg. And as a reminder, our event is being brought to you by DoubleTakeout.com, Curling.gg, and EndGameCurling.com. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to the 2025 doubletakeout.com MoPac Championships presented by curling.gg. We are starting the second half of the game with the opening rock from Maiden Armstrong. Looking for a guard. This is a little light. Is it going to get over the line? It does not. So it kind of allows Drummond to set the tempo of the end, I suppose. Or the strategy, help dictate strategy. Sweepers are really pushing it to get it into a corner guard position. And Jeff is coming out to help.
Because I played the absolute worst game of my life.
I think he wanted it in the house, and it will end up in the house. Actually not, it's a guard.
I still played the worst game.
A very tight guard. And I think Raju is choosing to ignore it, looking for Megan to have a second chance at putting up that guard.
Because technically, with that room the way it is, he's not allowed to take the pad. Because it has the tape on it.
So that's a better outcome for Armstrong. That is a center guard, and the no-tick rule is in effect. That does appear to be on the center line. And so it looks like now Tracy Drummond is going to draw around it. And if it ends up in the top of the guard zone, that's not too bad either. And it looks like it's going to just hang outside the house. Like a third grader with a bad report card who doesn't want to go in and talk to his parents. That is not based on a true story.
Oh no, it's a WD-40 on your. No, I just did it.
So now we're going to do David Betts' first shot. We're going to try a new path for this this end. The intern on the right wing. So some of David Betts' experience include the 2024 Winter World Masters games, playing second, finished in fourth place. And that is a guard. Don't know if they wanted a guard. He was also at the 24 Lacombe men's Bonspiel, winning the whole dang thing. And then he was a skip at the 2024 One Country Crush Bonspiel. And he also won the whole dang thing. So Brian Onken trying to throw the draw into the rings. Looks a little heavy, going to settle into the back 8 foot. Partially exposed. I'm trying to keep store just to see how effective people's shots are. And sometimes I miss a shot, and also trying to judge the shot is tricky because you store shots on a range of 0 to 4. 0 is a miss, 4 is the best outcome. And then there's different factors to do the points in between. It's a little subjective or arbitrary at times, despite the effort to try and be fair and accurate. But I like to see how their turns are, their shot selection, and potentially how effective they are. Like that draw from Betts worked out really well. That out-turn draw. I'm trying to say that's a 3 or a 4. Betts has thrown almost all draws. He only had a couple hits, but one of those hits was a double takeout that really helped open things up for Raju to get a single point in that second end. So Brian Ogden's doing some clearing action. Ooh. It mostly worked out. So it clears the front. It also, like, I think, promoted a yellow and a red towards the rings. So it kind of draws the plate into the rings. But now the front is pretty open for Sub's thing to dry. Doing the intern draw again, looks like. It's kind of hanging out. Let's see how much it curls back. Curls back a decent amount. Let's check it out from this view. I don't think it's going to get enough, though, to get buried. So it's exposed. It's another shot for Raju. Not counting at this point. There's 2 yellows, or at least one other yellow that outcounts it. This yellow in the back 12. As Debbie Aubrey throws her first. Throwing some heat. Just one of the reds moving, and then the shooter rolls on top of the other red on the right. So this is Subs' second shot. Looking to, I think, draw.
Hey, we forgot to check in. So we're all in middle school. Oh no. Oh yeah. Just that little like.
So let's see where this ends up. Ends up in a pretty good position. Just kind of closing the front of the house. So looks like Raju's sitting shot in the back 8 foot. First and third rocks perhaps, and then, or first and second. As it looks like Aubrey's being asked to throw some more heat. Heat. It's going to get the red, and the other red on the right gets kicked to the side, and it's a double takeout. Let's take a look again. All right. That double takeout was brought to you by doubletakeout.com. Curious why there was no sound on that replay. So the outcome also led to Baird being shot. So that was a good outcome from Debbie Aubrey. Full points. This is PN Raju's first. Raju has, like I mentioned, a lot of international play. He has 60 international caps for Team India at World Curling events, and has helped India win its first World Curling Tour finishes in both mixed doubles and men's. And so he's able to hit that yellow out of the house and sticks around for shot, but it is exposed. Raju's shot selection has been mostly draws, but it's like actually it's evenly split between draws and takeouts. Been fairly effective, although sometimes the last shot was not there to convert a score, which is one of the elements when you keep scores. Like, it's tough for skips because either you make it or you don't. Either it's 4 points or 0 points in terms of keeping the shooting score.
Or a triple knockout.
So we are to Jeff Baird's first rock with the hammer here. I think just looking to hit the red. Maybe try to double the reds out. That would be a really great shot. As he gets set and delivers. A really smooth release there.
Well, and because they have 5 sheets,
That shot was so smooth we just called Carlos Santana.
16.
Gonna get one. Oh, and it jams on the yellow in the back.
You wouldn't have to have that many draws in it. Like, you'd have to have,
That was always a possibility.
well, I guess,
But it does change the end around. Baird is sitting shot, somewhat covered.
it's up to 19 now. There's one more.
So there's a lot of buzz around the club about the boat parade tonight at Tempe Town Lake. And I'm only responsible for some of the buzz. Maybe a majority of the buzz, but there's a boat parade. I live in the mountains. There's not a lot of space for boats. And it's like, I also live in Utah, so it's like really, really cold.
7 women's though. They could still get it.
So this is Raju's last. Trying to coach it over. Needs to curl over like another half rock. Is it going to get over enough? And it squirts past that yellow. Oh my goodness. So unfortunate miss there from Raju. But I do know the thing that will cheer him up. A boat parade. 7 o'clock tonight at Tempe Town Lake. Santa's going to be there at 5. So now, looks like they're just trying to set up a heavy draw and get 2 points out of this. I don't think there's. I mean, they could try to double those reds out for a multiple, like a big score. I don't think it's worth it, especially given that Baird has a 2-point lead over Raju at this point. Last rock here, the 5th end. Both Tracy and Brian are really sweeping. I think partly to try to coach it over. The weight's a little light, and they need to be almost biting the forefoot for their extra points. I don't think it's there. So it's just a single point.
I thought he might even think about playing the double and get that for 3 points.
So a couple misses from both skips to finish this 5th end. But the end result was a point for Team Baird. We're going to have 6th end action when we come back in just a moment. And we are back. Rock's in play here in the sixth end of a possible 8 ends. Teams can choose to resign early if they feel the game is out of hand or they just want to hit the bar early. Or perhaps go to the boat parade. Did I mention this tonight at Tempe Town Lake? There's fireworks, guys. Come on. I'm easily entertained, and I hope you guys are too, tuned into this Sterling broadcast. So, Maiden Armstrong puts up a corner guard. And it looks like Tracy Drummond drew into the house with their first. And is now throwing a guard or a front rock. And mostly gets there. And so it looks like Raju's asking Maiden Armstrong to draw around the corner guard that she just put up. It crashes and rolls towards the center. So we got Brian Onkins next. And going for a draw around. That looks really good. It might be a smidge heavy.
Okay, so this is the final result.
As it does go to the back of the house, out of play. That was a good line though for Brian. And this end is being brought to you by End Game Curling. Offering the next level of leading edge curling brooms and accessories. EndGameCurling.com. So it looks like that shot was successful by David Betts. Takeout. Was that a double takeout? Let's recheck real quick. Okay, it was not a double takeout. And also Brian Ogden just threw a takeout there with the yellow rock onto red. So trading some takeouts back and forth. And it looks like David Betts is being asked to draw around on the right side now. Looking pretty good. The finish is interesting. Like it starts to swing to it kind of straightens a bit. Or it doesn't curl as much as you would think once it starts to break. So it's exposed. And Debbie Aubrey is going to just take it out, it looks like. Looking for the in-turn takeout. And the shooter's going to go out of play. So Raju has the hammer this end. And trying to see how they might be able to try to generate a multiple point score as Subs Thing to Durai delivers from the hack. That's a pretty good release. Nice delivery, looking to draw around that center-ish guard. A little up weight perhaps, it needs to sit down. It does. The line was also just a smidge wide as it is exposed. It's good for shot rock, which means Baird is going to make a play on it with Aubrey's second stone. And we'll see if she makes it. Oh, really close. Just skirts past the guard.
Thank you.
Gets the rock out of play and then loses the shooter. So updating the scores. One game is off the ice early. They kind of came back from the halftime and played one more in and said, you know what? It's time to pregame for the boat parade. Which is a sentence I'm sure not too many people have ever said before. But that was Team Underborn and Team Spangler. Looking for that draw again from Subs. And pretty much the same outcome. Although this looks to be second shot now. So Baird to pick that out and sit 2, which seems to be the clear call. There's no reason to leave that Raju red hanging around. Seem to be maybe talking about the best way to approach it. So if you look at it from the head-on view, it's about 20% buried. It definitely seems accessible, especially because you have about 12 feet of separation between the that red guard and the red in the back. So we're going to see the Jeff Baird hustle down the ice. Looking for a heavy draw, it appears. So talking about sheet A, Team Underborn won the game 10-2 over Team Spangler of Wine Country. This is Jeff's first heavy draw. Even if it sits on top of that red, that's not bad. I mean, even top of the house being second shot would be successful. Looks like it's going to be around the guard. And settle in probably back to the T line. And so I think they really want to maybe get it as close to the back as possible. And they get it to the back 8 foot. Back 4 foot. So that is shot now. So now it's kind of a question of what Raju can do to maybe generate 2 here. They're down 3. The game is starting to get late in this game of 8 possible ends. So the broom's down. I think they're just going for a draw. Settling in the back 4, buried, and then maybe hope for a miss and then a draw for 2. So sheet B is our feature sheet. So hopefully you guys knew the score when it's updated. 5-2. And then sheet C is the contest between Endicott and McDonald. And this draw from Raju, the line looked pretty good, but they're calling a sweep. And it looks a little on the light side. And it's just going to curl into the top guard there, unfortunately. So now Raju's behind the 8 ball. Facing a pretty tricky situation. So Endicott's up 5-3 over McDonald's. See, that is the Coyotes club stream on their Coyotes YouTube channel. And then sheet D is Blacksher versus Grow. It's gotten tighter after Grow opened up to a 3-0 lead. It's now currently 5-4 in favor of Grow. And all 3 of these games are in their 6th end. The 2 games to pay attention to are the Endicott McDonald game, and I think the Spangler Unterborn game, and there might be another game. That's not helpful. All right, this is the last shot without the hammer coming from Jeff Baird. I think looking to close the door by putting a front rock. Top 8 foot. This is a little heavy. It's going to carry to the back. So close, but a bit of a miss there from Baird. Although it looks like the most that Baird can give up is a single point. As Subs has the broom down for Raju to try that draw again. I think we need to probably see about 14-second hog to hog to get there. Maybe a little bit more, although that last rock was a little fast. But here we go. This is the last rock from Raju. 6th end. Calling sweep for line. This is pretty good. The sweepers are just kind of staying with it before digging in. There's a little bit of a backing. They need to be full 4 foot for that single point. It's slowing down now. Is it going to get there? Oh my goodness. So a steal of 1. I got like 13-8 hog to hog. So like T is about that weight. Because if the sweepers were more aggressive sweeping it, it may have gotten the 2 feet it needed to get into scoring position. So that is a steal of 1 for Mr. Baird, Team Baird. So we're going to take a quick pause in the action, and we'll be right back as we continue with our coverage of the 2025 DoubleTakeout.com MoPac Championships presented by Curling.gg. Okay. I didn't mean to be on mic for that. So, Endicott wins this game. They're into the playoffs. If they, and they're in a position to win right now. If they should lose, if McDonald comes back to win, then there's a 3-way tie for that playoff spot, and then I guess there would be a tiebreaker game. So I guess we'll keep an eye on that game, Endicott versus McDonald. As we also return our attention to the feature sheets, as we saw Tracy Drummond throw into the rings right on the lid. Maiden Armstrong with her first, doing the out turn counterclockwise.
And we're out here.
It's so hard.
This is going to go into the rings. Settle in the top 8 foot. As you see, Tracy throw her seconds. Going for a hit. Got a bit of a roll happening. And it will stick around on the right wing there. So Armstrong's second.
Not oh good.
I think she was really realizing it. Was like, wait, wait, wait. Okay,
Looking pretty good. Looking for a corner guard. I think so. She wanted it for her first, but it slipped into the rings. And this is a well-executed corner guard. And we have Brian Onkins first. I think looking to put up a guard or draw into the top of the rings. Just gonna go on top of the shot stone and on the button. So Endicott looks like they might be in position to secure that final playoff berth. Looking like they just put up 4. And they're gathering their jackets. So I'm going to guess they're done. So David Betts' first rock to draw onto the pile. It looks like it's just a little off target. So I think Endicott has won their way into the playoffs. So Onken executes the takeout. And so Betts is going to try that draw again. Although it does reduce the scoring area pretty narrowly, which speaks to the defense that Baird is putting up. They're trying to coach it over. It's not curling as much as they think it's going to. And so a pretty similar outcome that as his first shot. So half the games are off the ice, and so the ice conditions may change. I think we saw that last night as people were throwing draws and they were shorter than they were expecting, or coming up light, as it were. So we have Tracy Drummond throwing her first as a takeout. Debbie Aubrey, pardon me. And that's on the money. Shooter's going to roll to the side. And so now it is Baird sitting 4 in the rings. And Raju is trying to find some way to generate some offense. As Thing to Durai gets set for her delivery. Going to upweight, I think looking to move some rocks around. This one looks on target. And does get one of the yellows moving, and then the red shooter is going to roll to the side. So a positive result. Although it would be nice to have nose hit and stuck around. But Debbie Aubrey wastes no time in delivering her takeout. And that takeout's made. The shooter's going to roll away. But they don't need to stick around. So partly helping to keep a clean sheet. So Raju is looking to hit and roll toward the right, which seems to be a good call. They're okay on time. If you look at the clocks in the background, each team has 30 minutes to play 8 ends. And we're in the 7th end, so they have about 6 minutes to play an end and a half, roughly. So they seem to be doing really well, and each team also has a 1-minute timeout. I'm not sure if there's some additional time for coaches to travel on the ice. I missed that part of the briefing. This turns up a bit light, unfortunately, when they needed to be in the house. So I believe the playoffs are set. I can ask our competition chair who's here. All right, so I was able to confirm, thanks to Ken, that Endicott did grab that last playoff slot, and there is no need for a tiebreaker. So that does mean that the quarterfinals are going to start at about 7 tonight, 6:57. And we will have coverage for you on both the MoPac as well as the Coyotes YouTube channels. And so I'm sure he's working on the seeding. But I can tell you that the 8 teams that made the playoffs, as we see the outcome of this draw from Jeff Baird, to put a 4th stone in play. We have Walsh and Maxey from Pool A. We have Leclerc and Barajas on Pool B. This game right now, Baird and Raju, they are both going to the playoffs. So this is kind of a practice/seeding game. And then Pool D was McDonald Endicott. And so those are the 8 teams advancing to the playoffs. Half the field of 16 teams that entered this weekend. It's all going to come down to 2 teams in tomorrow's championship game at around 12:25. But before then, there's a lot to play for still. And we hope you'll tune in. We have Raju delivering his first rock at the end. Looking to draw and I think maybe roll under. This is light. It's going to settle in the top 4 foot, I believe. Maybe it's just biting it. It is biting it. So it looks like it's maybe second. It's close. This could be something to set up a, tapping the red back or something. But it's a tough situation for Raju, but thankfully both of these teams are advanced into the playoffs. For them, I mean, it's nice to see some competition with steaks and mashed potatoes. Anyway, this is Jeff Baird's last year. I think looking to just close the door in front of the house, make it really hard for Raju to even get into the house to score a single point. A guard's fine. A front rock is what they're going for essentially. And that is what they get, a guard front rock. So now the question is, what does Raju do to try to get into scoring position for even just one? There are 4 Baird yellow rocks in the house and just a single Raju red. The insane shot, which I think is the only shot, is to maybe run the red onto the red and hope for a little pinball action. And that seems to be what they're lining up. So run that center red onto the red in the house. Hopefully get both yellows moving and stick around for a single or maybe 2. The difficulty of the shot, I would say, is probably 8 out of 10 maybe. Maybe 9 out of 10. And we will see if Raju can stick the landing with this last rock here in the 7th end. So let's close. It's got the one red. Okay, and it chips the yellow out. But it's handshakes. As Baird stole a final point in this game. So that will wrap this game up. Both these teams are going to the playoffs. And it looks like we have a tied game on sheet D. So I might move the microphones over, or the cameras over. Do some good old-fashioned bonus coverage. So I'll be right back if you'll stay tuned. All right. Trying to. Hello. Welcome back. We got the cameras moved. We're a one-man show, so it's like when I'm moving the cameras, I can't talk, and vice versa. I could try to do commentary on the ice, but I don't think the teams would appreciate it. So here we are at Skip Stones. It's a tie game between Team Blacksher of Orange County and Team Bro of Coyotes, OC Curling in San Francisco Bay Area. We're seeing the, I think Megan's last rock as it comes down the way, and apologies for the Batman lair camera angles. If I had another 10 minutes, I'd probably fix that if I could. That's going to settle in to be third shot. Or is it fourth? Wow. So Grow really opened it up there as Team Grow exchanges some high fives. We'll see what they put up there. So we got the very last rock at the end. So thanks to competition chair Ken Pomeroy, we can let you guys know what the playoff seeding is going to be. On sheet A, we have the 1-8 game between Team Baird, the 1 seed taking on Team Barajas. On sheet B, we have the 3-6 game, Walsh, the 3 seed taking on number 6 Raju. And that should be our TV game. Sheet C is our Coyotes club stream game between number 2 Leclerc facing number 7 McDonald. And sheet D is the 4-5 game, which should be a good one. It's number 4 Endicott taking on Team 5 Maxi. So practice is going to start at 6:30 with the game starting at around 6:55 or so. So please stay tuned to the MoPac Facebook, YouTube channels for more information, as well as the Coyotes Curling Club YouTube. So just to recap for those on the air, it's going to be number 1 Baird taking on Barajas, number 8. Sheet A, number 3 Walsh taking on number 6 Raju on sheet B. Number 2 Leclerc facing number 7 McDonald on sheet C. And number 4 Endicott facing number 5 Maxi on sheet D. That's all at 6:55 or so. Tonight, the quarterfinals coming to you live from the Coyotes Curling Club. So we're going to see opening rocks here from the leads of Team Blackshear. Team Grow just threw their first rock. And that was a 4 spot for Team Grow. And this is going to end up as a corner guard. So we got bonus curling. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. And I hope you guys will be here tonight for the quarterfinals at, as I said, about 6:55. And then Championship Sunday starts at around 8:25 with the semifinals. And then we have the championship game at about 12:25. And then the winner will get their ticket punched to compete at the national championship set for next spring at the Denver Curling Club. So that was the second stone from Grow's lead, and that would be Alec Mitchell. And so for Team Blackshear, we have Joel Calhoun getting set. When I teach on arena ice, I say the ice isn't perfectly flat, and this is almost like a demonstration of that right now. So Calhoun's going to try to draw around the guard. It ticks off of it, and it's a no-tick rule violation. So the offending stone is going to be removed, and then any stone that touched it is replaced. So just an unfortunate miss there. It also removes a rock that Blackshear needs to get back into this game. So Grow's looking at drawing around. As the shot's away for Anto Serna. She has some pretty fun pants yesterday. Dressed for success, perhaps. As this shot's a little heavy to go through the house out of play. So looks like Blatcher is going to try and go through the port here with Tierra Manayans first. This is a little tight though. It's going to trash on the guard, but that was the 5 rock rule is over, so the no-tick rule is also over. So there's no violation there. Just still a tricky situation for Blacksher. As Anto, I think, is going to try and clear one of these guards. It's going to, I think, get the guard. I don't know what's going to do with the rock in the house. Okay, it just crosses in front of the rock in the house. As we see the net rock coming from Tierra. I think trying to draw around the pile. Sorry. All right, back to it. This looks pretty close. Oh, it crashes on the guard. It does get a red rock in play, and that means Dan Stephanie is going to be asked to try to pluck it out. Like a bird going for a tasty grub at the crack of dawn. This is overcurling though. It's going to, I think, crash on the red, and the shooter's going to roll wide to the right, and the yellow it crashed on, or the yellow got kicked into motion, rolled to the left. So we are to third stones. This end is moving pretty quickly. Looking to, I think, raise the red onto the yellow. But basically, each of these red stones needs to count to have a chance. They have 4 stones left. They have 1 in play, so they could score 5 if all 4 remaining stones counted. But that's a tough order. So looking to draw, I think maybe tap back. Okay, so it's not gonna. I think it's gonna overcurl to hit the tap. So it's going to go through the port, around the guard, and settle in top 8 foot with the shot from David Hernandez. So Bro is just really trying to make these stones go away. Dan Stephanie shots away. Looks pretty good. The sweepers are going, I think, partly to hold the line. So it's going to get one of the reds to go away. The shooter's going to roll across the house to the left. And Team Blackshear is pretty much in the same situation they were a rock ago, except for they're down a rock. So they need to have 4 to tie. And also, like, I think this is the last game for both of these teams. So I think both of these teams would like to end on a high note. And also, like, sometimes when you get curling, you just don't want it to stop. And that's one of the tricky things about a curling tournament is unless you're going to the championship, at some point the curling is going to stop. So I've only gone to the championship once to a bonspiel, and it was so much fun to be playing in that championship. But just also realizing it's like, oh man, like if you're not in the championship, it's like, oh, my event's over. Let's just go to the boat parade and call it a good night. This is David Hernandez's last rock. Hoping for something to happen here. I think a hit and roll is the ideal outcome. So it hits, not much of a roll. So Rowe can make this go away. And that's pretty much the ball game. I don't know if I've talked about the boat parade enough. You guys know about the boat parade? So there's a boat parade at Tempe Town Lake tonight.
Oh yes, you announced it at the beginning of this.
Yeah, so I'm just pushing that boat parade really hard. There's fireworks, there's Santa, there's vendors, there's boats, there's water. Boat parade. Oh my goodness. So she flashed everything with her first. That was Skip Megan Rowe. So Blackshear still has some work to do. And I think the shots right now to take is that she needs to be sitting 4. She needs to be scoring 4. So I think maybe what they're trying to do is they're trying to do a heavy draw and tap the yellow back. The risky shots, but maybe having a better percentage of outcome, was to maybe run the red onto the yellow. So if you run the red onto the yellow, the red's protected, and then hopefully the shooter would roll to the left and hopefully stick around. The downside is if the shooter doesn't stick around or the run back has failed. It's a very risky shot. But just hanging out in the open gives that Rowe a chance to hit and take you out. End the game. So this is Shiloh Blackshear's first. It's heavy. Is it going to sit down or make contact? It just kisses, and it's going to roll through the house, and if it's not out of play, it's barely touching. So looks like both teams are content to play the string out. As I mentioned, throughout the tournament, teams can choose to resign early if the game is out of hand. Also, when the team is mathematically eliminated, they're supposed to resign. And I guess they're technically not mathematically eliminated, but they would need a miracle for Team Blackshear to prevail in this end. So Megan Groh gets set. Looking to make that red go away. And to make what seemed to be a conclusive finish, definitive, and that red does go away. And they're going to let the string play out. Oh, no, they're not. It's handshakes. So Team Grow is going to finish that game 10-6. Did their first win in this event to conclude pool play. So I definitely appreciate everyone tuning in for this event. Just another friendly reminder that the 2025 doubletakeout.com MoPac Championships presented by curling.gg is presented by doubletakeout.com, curling.gg, and by Endgame Curling. So that's going to do it for this broadcast. As we mentioned, there's no tiebreaker, so we're going to see you tonight at about 6:55 or so. Hopefully we'll get the playoff information posted to the MoPac Facebook page. But until then, thank you so much for tuning in. This broadcast is presented by authority of the Mountain Pacific Curling Association. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the Mountain Pacific Curling Association. And on that jolly note, this has been your host, Ryan, for all of us here at MoPac Coyotes Curling Club. And on behalf of all of our sponsors, good afternoon and good curling.